Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today is part 3 of our 3-episode series of doing maintenance on the Mirage. This is the final episode, so if you've stuck all the way through all the episodes, then I appreciate you. So here in episode 3, we're going to be doing motor mounts, all of them. Engine, transmission, and transmission again, because that's a dog bone mount. It goes on the other underside. So there are 3 mounts that hold your 3A92 in, along with the 5-speed transmission. There's the transmission mount, there is the engine mount, and then underneath there is a dog bone mount. It actually looks like a dog bone, woof woof, you know? So that is what we're going to be doing today. We're also going to be filling up my transmission with fluid and doing an oil change. So I'm going to do all this in today's video. If you like it, make sure to like and stick around. The first mount that we're going to do is the transmission mount. Now, if you haven't removed all this stuff, basically you're going to want to remove the battery tray and then you get access to this. You're going to be able to get in here. There's 14mm bolts for this side and then 17mm bolts for this side. The first thing we're going to want to do is support the transmission with a jack. So I have the transmission supported on the far end where the mount is with a jack. I'm going to remove these 3 14mm bolts and then these 3 17mm bolts, and then I should be able to just lift up the transmission mount. Once you take those bolts out, it is really, as long as the transmission is supported, as easy as just pulling up and moving some wires out the way. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to show you, you see this mount with my hand? I can barely move it. With this mount, I can move it a whole bunch. So let's do that again. Yeah. And then if you look in here, it also is all torn up. There's some cracking on the actual rubber in there, or tearing, sorry. You see that? Tearing. And then in here, it's all sealed up and tight. So yep, this is our replacement. So we're going to go ahead and stick it in. Just like that, we have ourselves a transmission mount. So now we can go ahead and let some relief off of the transmission and let the mount do its job. Now for the driver's side, we're going to be needing to again use the jack to lift underneath on the oil pan. The engine is not that heavy and we're not going to be doing it for a long time, so it's okay. 14mm, and that's all. You got to get 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, and then there's one more back there, 3. So 3 bolts, and you can lift it up, and then you can put the new one on. 3 bolts, 3 bolts. So also you're going to want to undo that little clip right there to get that wire out. And I believe there is one on this side as well. So you're going to have to get those push clips out, and then you'll be able to pull this engine mount out. All right, so there is also a little wire here, so you're going to want to take a 10mm and get that off. All right, and this is the old mount. This old mount is very easy to manipulate and bend. I wish I had a camera stand, but this is very, very loose compared to the new one. So we are definitely doing the right thing. 100,000 miles does a lot to engine mounts, especially on a manual transmission. So let's get this new one in. So after all that, you slip the old one off, you put the new one on, and there we go. Everything is tight. It is off of the jack, and now all we have left is one more mount, and that is the bottom transmission mount. Now, the only OEM part I got, because this was the only way I could find it, was the dog bone mount. So if y'all need a dog bone mount for your Mitsubishi, there it is. That is the part number. It'll fit all 14 to 25 Mitsubishi Mirage manuals. Well, actually, these stopped in 22, so 14 to 22 Mirage manuals. So yeah, that is the part number. Everything else I got aftermarket, Western, or I forgot what the mount company was called, but yeah, so that is the mounts that I got for the engine and transmission. And then this is the dog bone mount. These mounts from Mitsubishi are super expensive for no reason. So let's go ahead and get this done. All right, guys, so this is the dog bone mount. It's directly in the center of the car, basically, and it takes 3 17mm bolts to get out. So once you get those out, you'll be able to pull that out. Make sure to keep this orientation for this little metal piece right here, because you won't be able to put it on the other way. Alright guys, so after you get those 3 bolts out, you're going to pull the transmission mount towards the front of the vehicle, then you're going to slide the new one in, get the bolts in, and then tighten them down. I already did this. That's the old one. That's the new one. All right, guys, so now we're going to go ahead and fill up the transmission, and with that, I'm going to go with some Synchro Shift 2 by BG. This is a 75W80 GL4, which this transmission takes GL4 and GL5 gear lubricant. This is not Mitsubishi brand because I want to see if this will kind of smoothen up the transmission a little bit. So if you didn't watch my drain and fill video or my maintenance video, then you will not know that there's a 24 that has nothing in it right now. So that hole in the transmission, that is where we're going to be putting the fluid. So since this is coming out of that and not a bag, I'm going to get a series of funnels to get the fluid into there. And it takes about 1.7 quarts. So I have 2 quarts on hand. When it starts coming out of that hole, I'm going to stop and then I'm going to tighten it down. There we go, with a little twisty funnel. And then I put this funnel in there. It'll go straight into the transmission, and then when it starts leaking out of that hole, I will stop. And that's 1.7 quarts. And there we go. We got it all filled up, so we can go ahead. I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to go ahead and start draining the oil in the engine and then do an oil change. All right, guys, and that is it. We have the car up and running. I have a level on top of the car. It is super level. Guys, this has been the best series of videos I've made in a long time. This is the final results for the lowering. Already tested the clutch. I'm about to go on my first test drive, guys. This is great. AC's running, car's running. Can't wait to get it back on the road. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please let me know by hitting that like button. Until next time, I'll see ya.